It's also the first time that they've held a 3-0 lead in multiple best-of-7 series in the same postseason. They are absolutely cooking. They swept the Sixers, and they are on the verge of doing the same to Cleveland, a chance to close it out on Monday. They've won 10 consecutive playoff games, which extends the franchise postseason record. Knicks are the 10th team in the history of the NBA to win 10 straight playoff games. 8 of the previous 9 reached the finals, including 5 eventual champions. As far as this particular series is concerned, nothing new for New York. 120 different matchups with at least 15 meetings in the postseason in NBA history. The Knicks are 15-2 against Cleveland, and that's the best of any of those. Joined now by Tim Legler. And Tim, tonight in Cleveland, it's a holiday weekend. You've been really good at home throughout the playoffs. You're down 2. You've got to defend home court. And the Cavs had 0 answers for what New York was doing offensively. Earlier in the show, Amon Shumpert and I were aghast at the defensive effort from Cleveland. But you got a counter, which is what the Knicks are doing so brilliantly on offense. How do you frame it?
Yeah, look, the Cavs have run into a better team that is playing their best basketball. And when you run into that and you've got this kind of balance up and down your starting lineup, very difficult to figure out a way to limit them, because there's nothing that you can really do to expose some part of their team offensively, Scott. They tried that in game 1. They weren't going to send help on Brunson. You saw how that worked out at the end of the game. Game 2, they're going to give him all kinds of traffic, and Josh Hart goes off. And then in this game, it was a little bit of both. So I just think the balance across the board of the ways they can beat you in the paint from the 3 and with their defense now, which has turned into an elite defense, it's just too much for the Cavs. Their one hope was they shoot a lot of threes. If you can shoot a high percentage and enough guys can contribute in that area, it keeps you in the game. Last couple games, they have not been able to do that.
Yeah, like, hope's not a plan, all right? I mean, Cleveland had to hope they'd shoot better when they went home. They just didn't. And on a night where the Knicks shoot 56% legs, they were going to have to shoot it like about 40, as you say, and they don't. And history says Cleveland's done. If you're New York and you recognize that maybe it's going to go for a while in the West, as exciting as it is to get to the finals, how much urgency is there? Let's get this thing done Monday and get as much rest as we can.
I think right now you're going to see them with their foot on the accelerator in Game 4, without question. There's not going to be a let-up by this team. And the reason is this, Scott. When you're in this situation, you don't want to play any more games than you have to, because the one thing that could derail something is somebody getting hurt. So just do the math. That's one less game you have to play. Then get on to the finals. So they're going to come out with the right sense of urgency on Monday. There's no question about that. And for the Cavs, look, the start of this game, I will say this. This was the loudest environment that I've been in the postseason prior to tip. This crowd was ready. The problem is the Knicks took it to them physically, early, getting into the paint, beating them up in that way. Got some easy baskets to start their night. And it was difficult from that point on for the crowd to find the energy that the Cavs are going to need, because they weren't giving them enough results on the court. So I think the energy will be okay in the beginning. But the Knicks have proven they know how to squash that pretty quickly and demoralize you.
Styles make fights, right? Matchups in basketball determine who wins series. If New York is to win, and they'll play either the Spurs or the Thunder, probably be a dog in either series. But in hearing you talk about the Knicks, it sounds to me like you believe that this is not just an Eastern Conference championship quality team. It's potentially an NBA championship team. You believe that, it sounds to me.
There's no doubt, Scott. Whoever comes out of the West, and I think everybody thought for a long time as a foregone conclusion, whoever wins the West, that's your NBA champion. The Knicks have changed that narrative. The Knicks are now a team that can absolutely go toe-to-toe with those two teams, who, by the way, still have a lot of work to do. So who knows what those teams will do to each other, trying to secure that spot in the finals across from the New York Knicks. But, Scott, think about this. You're talking about a team in the Knicks that is number 2 offensive rated team amongst all the playoff teams, number 1 defensive rated team, number 1 in three-point percentage, and they get about 60 points a night in the paint. Also number 1 in fast break points. I mean, there's just across the board, the totality of what they're hitting you with, nobody has had close to enough answers. In the Eastern Conference, certainly now you're talking about two elite teams in the West. One of those teams will be staring at the Knicks. If Knicks can close this out, assuming they get that fourth win, the Knicks absolutely belong in that category as a championship caliber team. There's no doubt they've turned themselves into a great team right before our eyes.
48 minutes to earn the right to play for the chip. We'll be watching on Monday and talking when it's done, Tim. Look forward to it. I wish more than anything that we could take the camera from upstairs and record the conversations we had as we watched this game in Montreal studio. I've rarely had more fun watching any game with anyone. It was a blast. I want to try to give people the good stuff and narrow it down. The Knicks deserve credit. But you described Cleveland's defensive effort as the worst performance I've ever seen. Why?
The effort. When you talk about the time and situation, we're talking about good basketball. There's guys that realize, okay, we're coming home. We need a push. We need a little bit more. The first thing on the list should not be transition defense. That's something that you and the guys need to huddle up real quick on the free throw line. Nip that in the bud. Transition defense. 1-2 dribbles and then a blow-by straight line drive to the basket. These are all effort things. These are things that we look at as players and say, hey, do y'all know that y'all are facing elimination? You know, your whole season can go in the trash after this. Mm-hmm. And when I'm watching it, I don't see the faces of guys that feel like our backs are against the wall. I feel like it looked a little cool out there.
New York does shoot 56% in part because, to your eyes, you don't see enough pushback from Cleveland. Yeah. But the credit that New York is earning by virtue of stacking win after win on the road, not just wins, but double-digit wins, Amon, in a time of year when those are tough to come by. What are the Knicks showing in terms of a team that's now a win away from the finals and 5 wins away from a parade through the Canyon of Heroes?
Well, in a temperature of basketball that we are now playing positionless basketball, okay, where everybody can do a little bit of everything. The Knicks have now shown and proved, no. You need a point guard. Jalen Brunson is one of those guys that we kept talking about has this tweener game. Mm-hmm. He wants to score, but he's undersized, blah, blah, blah. What I've seen this playoffs is that Jalen Brunson can make adjustments. Jalen Brunson can actually go out here and bat singles. He can make the hockey assist. He understands a game plan that says, hey, you're going to make this guy beat you. Okay, cool. That's my guy, actually. That's my brother right there. Mm-hmm. Josh Hart can beat you. He instills confidence in guys. He keeps his turnovers down. He is showing us a real floor game from a real point guard mindset. And I think when we look at the other side, we start to say, who's playing point guard over there? What is the matchup? If we're going to sit here and act like the matchup at the end of games with Jalen Brunson and James Harden isn't the matchup, and that's not what we're going to focus on, who is his matchup? And when I look at that, I say positionless basketball, this playoffs just hasn't been successful.
And as we watched the Cleveland team tonight, that starts okay. I wrote down like hope is not a plan, right? Like you hope you're going to shoot better when you go home because you go 4 for 25 at the end of the game in the Garden in game 2. Yeah. Slightly better, but not enough better. And Donovan Mitchell is a guy that I feel is a star, but I want to see even more from him in games like this, particularly in this game. And I just don't get that.
Well, I'll give you a little story I had. During the playoffs, well, it might have been a championship. During the championship, LeBron James was out there killing, doing everything for us at both sides of the floor. T. Lue came in at halftime, raised both his arms up and said, Bron, I know you playing well. I need more. I need more. Bron looked around like, I'm doing everything. But we need more. And when you look at somebody like Donovan Mitchell, you know what he possesses to score the basketball first. But the effort, he is an athlete. I don't care. Honestly, you got the nickname Spider Mitchell. I don't care if you tired. I don't care if you banged up. Yeah. Do it without the mask. Save the bus. Save the girl. Take the punches, the broken ribs. That's why you're Spider-Man. Yeah. When I look at this team, I look at guys that feel like sometimes somebody needs to put them in position. Somebody needs to show them the way. No. Half the things that are going on with Cleveland is effort.
And I don't ever prematurely bury anybody, but history says they're done because no one's ever escaped out of it.
Well, luckily, I'm a guy that's been on the wrong side of, a record like this. Right. Whether anybody includes them in the conversation is irrelevant. If they can, first off, decide, one, we're going to take note to, honestly, just watch a little film. Let's watch some film and decide, hey, James Harden, 6 turnovers, 8 made field goals. You see where the problem is. Yeah. Let's watch some film. Blow-bys, people attacking you in transition, people attacking you in the half court. You have to see these things and say, I'm going to step up and I'm going to have some pride about it. And it's got to be a collective, because I didn't see a lot of high fives from the Cavs today. I didn't see them bringing each other together on the free throw line. Mm-hmm. The effort, the I don't want to curse, to give AF, to care. It's nice to care.
This is where I was about to have one of our upstairs conversations and say, I don't think film's going to make any difference at this point. It feels like New York is headed to the finals. We'll have a conversation in a bit about what's going on in the West and what you see as we move towards Game 4 in the Western Conference. Iman Shumpert, more from him on the way. A Game 2